Hey guys, so it is day one. Well, okay, it's the 1st of August, and so I'm going to be doing vlogs all month, or, videos of some sort every day, so we'll see how this goes. Most of them will be daily vlogs of my reading. Maybe if I do something else, I'm not very, there's not much. Like right now I'm in line for coffee. I'm at Black Rock Coffee, and I'm going to get a coffee and go to work. It's Friday, so today shouldn't be too busy. We had so many meetings yesterday. It was a long morning, and then it was pretty quiet yesterday afternoon. So today is, I'm hoping we just get through the day and it's okay. So I am listening to an audiobook, Queen of Myth and Monsters by Scarlett St. Clair, which is the second book in the Adrian and Isolde fantasy romance series. So far I'm liking it. I don't love it. It's not a favorite fantasy romance in any way, but I do want to catch up on the series. I think a prequel is coming out in December, so if I read this, then I'm caught up on the series, at least for a little bit. Anyway, so but beyond that, I'm pretty tired. It's just, it's Friday. I have to go to work. Anyway, physically, right now I'm reading a book that's for another video, for my shelf by shelf video, so you'll see that probably in another week or two. So I'm not going to talk about that one, but I will start something else when I get home and kind of read both of those, kind of, a little bit of each, so I have something I can talk about, because I don't want to talk about the other book except in the other video. So anyway, I don't have any plans this weekend, but I want to get to the weekend. I'm ready for the weekend. So anyway, again, most of these videos probably will be not super long, probably 10-15 minutes every day, and then there'll be normal videos, like be a book haul later, and then, as I said, my shelf by shelf will come out. If something else pops up, I will do that too. We'll see. But beyond that, this is the, as I said, I want to see if I can do this again, because I had fun with it last year, getting a video up every day. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, that's it. I will check in with you guys later, probably after work, probably when I get home, because it's just too hot to sit in my car and talk in the afternoons. So I will probably do that then. So it is early and I really want coffee, and this line is not moving. Anyway, I will check in with you guys later. Okay, this is like the third time I'm trying to film this, but my cats keep doing stuff. Anyway, I have just got home. It's about 5:20, and it was a long day today. Today was a long day. It wasn't bad. It was just long. It just was quiet. I got stuff done, but it was really quiet. The forklift is unusable, so I didn't have to worry about that, which was nice. They're getting it fixed, but I didn't have to run it today, and luckily nothing showed up that needed a forklift. Anyway, I got lucky that way. Anyway, but it was really, really quiet. So I got a lot of listening time in, because most of my stuff was pretty much easy on the computer, but it didn't go so well. So I was listening to Queen of Myth and Monsters this morning by Scarlett St. Clair, again, second book in the Adrian and Isolde series. This is a fantasy romance. There's kind of vampires and some things go on in the kingdoms, and there's some stuff with magic, but we're not quite sure in the first book, and anyway. So I really liked the first book overall. I had fun with it. But I am not enjoying myself with this. I made it to 156. So I think I know I'm over 40% into this, and I'm a little bored. So to me, all that's happening is that they're arguing, the two main characters. They're arguing. There's a few little action scenes which were the good parts, and then they're making up in, because there's a lot of sexy times in here. Again, I'm only this much in, but quite a bit has happened. So I just feel like it's not going right. It's like spinning wheels. It's like they're not really making progress in the plot. Like, there's just a few things that happen, but it's so little for how much I listened to. And just the more I sat, I was listening to it, I just was like, I'm getting bored. I'm bored. And I got to where it was just like, how do I explain this? It's not that I love stuff that, I admit it, I read a lot of stuff that has violence in it and stuff, but there was a lot of, to me, gratuitous violence with those action scenes that we did get. Some of it just didn't, like, they're supposed to be dark and, they're supposed to be bad, like, they're supposed to take out everybody who's against them, and I get it, but I'm also like, I was so bored. So I think I'm going to DNF this series, and I'm going to get rid of my copies. I think it was, as I said, I think it's fine. I just think that I might have made it through farther or finish it if I'd read it closer to when I read the first book, maybe, but maybe not. I'm just bored, and I just was like, okay, no, we're gonna put that down. So I did think about maybe not DNFing it and coming back to it and listening to it a little bit more, because I do own the audiobook. Unfortunately, I bought it on a sale. But I think I've decided to just DNF it and get rid of the books. It's just, I like Scarlett St. Clair for her, it's a fairy tale retelling series that there's 2 books. But again, they're not perfect and they're not the best. I just like her. I still don't know if I want to try the Hades and Persephone book again. A Touch of Darkness. Because again, I have a thing with reporters. Anyway, and she's, I think, trying to be a journalist or something. I don't remember, but anyway, I haven't decided. But again, and I would read other stuff by her. I did just buy a new book by her, so I will have to try that soon. Her new release, Terror at the Gates, I think. Anyway, we'll have to see how that goes. Anyway, but I'm going to DNF that book. So then I picked another book that I had. So this one was out from Libby. I am trying to go back and forth between books I own or have access to on Audible, either Audible or Audible Plus. So ones I've ordered, ones I've bought, and then other ones that are free with my subscription, and then going to Libby. And I'm trying to go back and forth because I just have so many books that I have access to right now that are on my shelf that I'd like to read. So one of them is a book that I think I read the first couple pages and I wasn't quite sure I would like it. And this is before I read quite a few darker romances, and I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll like this one. Yeah, well, okay. I got to 190, so I got 62% into this book, and I'm DNFing Hate by Tate James. So what's really funny is I bought this book, I don't know, months ago. I don't even know, maybe it was last year or earlier this year. And I remember some booktubers, which I can't even remember who they were, but there was a whole group of them that read this, and like most of them didn't like it, and there was a few that did, but they really liked it, and the other ones really hated it. Well, I fall into the, I guess, really hate it. I think I just have to acknowledge that I like a lot of dark romances that I've read that are mafia, and they're kind of gray characters, and there's still a lot of good sexy times and stuff. But I don't, and I even read a lot of books with a lot of alpha male tendencies. Like, as I said, I read a lot of shifter romances, and I read a lot of stuff, again, with the mafia stuff that they're, it's their way or no way kind of thing. But there's something about this book. I think it really is the childish bullying between her and the 3 guys. So we are following Madison Kate, who is set up and takes the fall for this really bad thing that happened in her town. And she is like, pretty much her dad just gives her up, even though she had nothing really to do with it. She got set up. And a lot of stuff happened and all that. So she went away for almost a year and stayed with her aunt, but her aunt passes away. So she comes back, and her dad has made it this, she has to stay at his home. He's not there, but she's stuck there with 3 men, and the 3 men are the ones who set her up. And she doesn't know why that all happened, but she is pissed, of course, because her life was ruined. And they're all young. They're all, well, she's a teenager, and they're like 20, 21. So they're all very young. This is all very, very young. So, I mean, I'm guessing she's 18 or 19, Anyway, so I think the audiobook was done really well. Both of these, I don't have any problem with who did the audiobooks. My problem is it was the bullying between them, because she's stuck in this house with these 3 guys that she hates because she's been hating on them for, you know, a year after, or it's like technically 11 months since it happened. And now she's back and they're, you know, they're all going to this school. Oh, I guess yeah. So yeah, it's their first year of college. So they, anyway, but they're older and they all have their kind of social media darlings for different things that they're into. And even though I didn't like the bullying, I didn't like the back and forth, the sexual tension was really good between them. Again, this is a Why Choose story, and it's a 4-book story. So I know that there's stuff going on. There's kind of a hint of a mystery. So if you don't like stalking, don't want to read this either. But cat your tail. But anyway, the point I'm having is that at 190 pages, she does something that I think is over the line. And I mean, considering that they set her up, and I do get that they're, you know, she wants back at them. And she focuses on one because he is the one who is the alpha, you know, one who's just a jerk pretty much overall. And I did skim ahead to see if what she does affect him. And I didn't read what happened to him. I just got to the point where I finally found where it comes out. And I'm like, I can't believe she did it. Like, it was one of those things. And I know a lot of stuff happens in those 100 pages between where I stopped and where that happens. And I'm sure that's a catalyst for something else. But to me, I'm like, I was done at 190, at 62%, because I thought, I still think she stepped over the line. And I thought it was, I just don't like bullying. And I think all the dark romance stuff that I do like, I know there's going to be some in some books that I've already bought, so we'll see how that goes. But this was just, I just didn't care. Like, that was where I kind of lost it, and I was like, I don't care anymore. I was rooting for her all the way through that. Everything, I really, you know, was really on that. I was really enjoying her and her journey, you know, her, you know, what she had to go through and and her getting through stuff and really feeling for her and everything. And then she did that, and I was like, I'm done. So, I mean, again, if you've read the book, you can look to see what happens at 190. But it happens there, and then 100 pages later is the consequence of that. And again, I didn't read to see what happened. I don't care. Like, as I said, it was more just that she did it. And didn't regret the action, as in, you know, taking it back, you know. I don't know if in the middle that she had a moment of doubt or anything, but I don't think if she did, I don't know. It doesn't matter. So anyway, I'm going to get rid of this book too. So that's another DNF. So that's kind of harsh when I DNF 2 books, both over 150 pages into the books. And one's 40-some% and the other is 62%. So that was kind of annoying. I just want to see if I covered everything, because I've already talked a lot. Let's see here. Yeah. So I decided, because I had like an hour left at work, and I knew I was going to be driving home and stuff. So I was like, okay, I got to pick something that I'm going to like. I came this close to picking A Court of Silver Flames to start that. But I'm like, no, I need a break before I go back to that. And I thought, well, maybe because I didn't enjoy that fantasy romance that much, and I didn't want to do another dark romance right off. So I picked up a reread, which is what I do. And I decided to continue with the Kate Daniels series and do book 5.6, Gun Metal Magic. So this is Andrea's story, and again, I haven't read this since like 4 years ago when I did a buddy read with Tia at Genres and Journals. And again, I really enjoyed it then. I'm hoping to enjoy it again. So I'm just doing the reread. It is the narrator that did the series when it first came out. And it's not my favorite narrator. I don't like some of the southern accents that she uses. I think that's too over the top in a lot of ways. But this is the only way I could get this one on audio. So I have it out from Audible Plus because it's on their on their catalog right now. It's gonna go away later this month, so I thought, oh, you know what, I better just read this one. So I thought, we'll just do my reread, because I do want to continue my reread of the series. And again, this is right after the first 5 books, so this is the next book. So anyway, I only got about 66 pages in from before I got home, so I will be continuing that, but my focus will switch. And again, maybe it's better it was a reread that this happened on, because tomorrow I will be starting my buddy read with Berna at Burnished Bookish Adventures with Secrets of a Summer Night by Lisa Kleypas. So I will be reading about, well, this one, it's like 75 to 80 pages a day for 5 days to read this book. This is the first book in the Wallflowers series. So I did get this on audio from Libby. So this will be my primary audiobook for the next 5 days. But again, I will finish my chapters for the day and then I will switch to something else. And so right now my the one I'm going to switch to is Gunmetal Magic. And then after that, we can try something new. Probably from Libby, because I'm going, as I said, I'm going back and forth on my listening right now. So anyway, so tonight, okay, so I don't know what I'm going to read right now. I don't know. My mood is kind of, I mean, my reading thing is just, I mean, I just DNF'd 2 series. One I hadn't started before. Or, I mean, Madison Kate series. That was my first book with that. And, I don't know how I feel about that author. Would I try another book by her? I don't know. I know I was looking at Dear Reader, but now I can't remember what that one's about. So I'll have to relook at that. I don't know if it's an author I want to revisit. I'm still so mad about those characters, just the bullying back and forth and the pranking, and I'm like, that's so childish. I hate that stuff. And they did act young, and it was a little too much for me. And again, there's darker stuff in there, but it just wasn't what I wanted. Anyway, so I don't know what I'm gonna read tonight. So I am going to I have a book that I'm reading, as I said, for my shelf by shelf. So I will read a little bit of that tonight, but I also want to start another book. So I might try one of my translated books. I do have a book that was my mom's book it's a contemporary romance from the 70s. So I might try that. The Diplomatic Lover, we'll see, by Elsie Lee, one of my mom's favorite authors, which I had this book for like 2 years on my shelf, so I need to get through it. So we'll see. I also have, as I said, I have a translated fiction. I don't know what I feel like. I'm going to let myself watch a video or 2 on BookTube, and then I'll try to read something. I don't know. But I'll come back and let you know before I close out for today. We'll see. As I said, I read a lot of pages today. I mean, I read 66, or listened. Sorry, I did all listening. 66 pages in one, 190 in another, and then I think I did 60 or 70 page. No, maybe it was more than that. More like, I don't know, like, yeah, 60 or 70 in the other one. And I just, what a day of reading. Anyway, okay, so I will go and I will come back when I have read something that I can talk about, and then I'll close out the vlog for today. You're not going to go back to sleep? You were sleeping on my books, and then I hit this, and you move. You're weird. Sleeping on my books. Okay, so I'm going to close out the vlog for today. So, I did read in the book that I'm not going to talk about in this video, that I'm reading kind of in the background. I was in a weird, as I said, today has been a weird reading day. So I did start The Diplomatic Lover by Elsie Lee. Again, this is my mom's book that's from the early 70s, I believe. again, one of her favorite authors, 71. So it is written, it is a contemporary taking place in Washington, D.C. I didn't realize that. I thought it was New York. Well, yeah. I think the reason I thought it was New York is because the guy's name is York. Anyway, so she works for a diplomat, and she knows several, it sounds like she knows a lot of language, or a couple languages, or she's working on learning them. She's 23, and is honest that she is still a virgin, which I think is a ridiculous conversation to have with other women. But anyway, so some men have been hitting on her for the last couple years because they know she is a virgin, because of course somebody blabbed to everybody anyway in their small circle of diplomats. Anyway, so I think she's just had it's her birthday. She's turned 23, and I think might take a chance on this guy Rourke, who I guess is an actor, fairly well known, but he's also known as a playboy, and he's older than her by over 10 years. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I only read chapter 1, but she did accept a ride home with him because her other coworkers and roommates had already left, and she was supposed to get a ride with another guy who was trying to get with her at this diplomatic meeting or party, and but he had to go have another meeting, so she got a ride with this actor. And so he says, well, I have to stop at my house first to make a phone call to LA, so if we could stop there, and then, you know, you can have a drink, and then I'll take you home. Yeah, we all know where he's thinking. Anyway, I'm not sure. I don't know about this. So it's not bad. It's just written very differently from, you know, most of the contemporaries that I have read recently. Again, I am a person who did not read contemporaries for about 20 years, contemporary romances. So, but this is from the 70s. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff in here that's not quite PC, but I think it's interesting to see it from that time period. What women had to put up with. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, so, and look at, they were sprayed edges back then. Yeah, I know. Anyway, so I'm going to work on this. I'm probably only going to read a chapter a night. I think there's 11 or 12 chapters. So I don't expect to read a lot of this every night, because I don't think I can read that much of it at one time. But I am going to read it. So I've read chapter 1. So I will, it's only about 18 pages. So I've at least started it. I was going to start like another book, because I only read a chapter of that, and then I was going to read a couple chapters of the book I need to read for the other video, but I could not decide what else to pick up. So I've decided to wait until tomorrow and see how I feel, because I'm really liking the book I'm reading for the other video. So I might just read that physically until it's done, but also, as I said, insert Diplomatic Lover to get that done before I start anything else physically. But we'll see how I feel tomorrow. No idea. But I'm going to wrap the video up. Today, again, was 2 DNFs. I started a book, and then I continued a book that I can't talk about. Well, that's great. Anyway, it's a weird first day of August. I hope this isn't how it's going to be every day, that I read really far into books and DNF them. I'm usually better about DNFing early, but man, it's just weird. Anyway, so that's it. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.